GST impact on employer and employee relationship. So the transactions which are happening between an employer and an employee, that we are going to study. Why this discussion is important, you will understand it, that because under GST rule the employer and employee has been treated as and deemed related party, and because of which their transactions or the transactions among them will not be a normal transactions and it will be attract GST. So when we say the GST will be applicable, let's understand what kind of GST, which transactions GST will apply, and in which cases it will apply. So before we understand this, let's understand what kinds of services an employer provides to employee or an employee provides to employer. So the first we can understand the employee gives the services in course of employment. So when we say anything given in course of employment, it is not a supply under GST. It is not a supply under GST. Hence, no GST is applicable on such cases. But vice versa, if any services are provided by an employer to employee, then we need to check whether those services or those cases falls under GST or not. So before we discuss deep into this, let's understand what are the transactions which have primarily affected by this GST rule, and that first is gift by an employer to employee is chargeable to GST. The reason being why are we discussing this transaction is because under GST rule, under section 15, these both have been treated as a related party. When I say a related party, means transaction between them will be valued as per valuation, not as per market value or the consideration, but as per the valuation rules that are applied to related party. Now let's take ahead and see how and what kind of transactions we have to discuss, that which are the cases where employer-employee relationship is going to get impacted because of GST. As in layman, you will understand that I go to my employee, my employer gives me various services. It starts from the pickup service of the employee from his residence to his place of work, and it ends at dropping him to the place of residence from where he is coming, and at the same time he has to see what kinds of transaction that he is getting will be taxable or not. So the broad principle to understand whether the supply made by an employer to an employee will be taxable or not will be checked on the broad principles. So let's understand what are those broad principles are. First, any facility. When I say any facility, means any facility which is common for all employees, or you can say all his customers, as such as we say, which is given by employer to employee, is not chargeable to GST. So what kind of these services is? For example, company gives free tea, coffee, etc. So it should not be liable to GST. Next, we see any facility provided by an employer to employee for official use. What does it mean, official use? It means a mobile by employer to employee, a laptop to work. So these are the basic facilities that are given by an employer to employee to perform his duty efficiently and as per his terms of employment. So it should also not be liable to GST. Now let's see what is the third principle, is reimbursement. So when we say reimbursement, so by an employer to employee, it per se means automatically it is not a supply to employee and it will not attract GST. But we have to see more deep into what kind of these reimbursements are. You have to check whether these are the special reimbursement or these reimbursements are common reimbursement given to all reimbursement you can say for official use. That will decide if it is a common reimbursement, then this case will fall under not a supply and no GST will apply. Else if it is a special treatment or in a special case the person is receiving some special reimbursement which is not common for all, then it will attract GST. Similarly, if anything is given for official use, let's say employee has made an official expense which is claiming back from the company, will also not attract GST. The fourth principle for checking whether GST will be liable or not is that any other supply, when I say any other means it's a residual section, or you can it's not a section, it's just it's a checkpoint. Any other supplies by an employer to employee, in normal course of business. So you will have a question, what is the normal course of business? So that normal course of employment, like we discussed here, will be decided case to case basis. Whether the money given by employer to employee is in normal course or supply made by an employer to employee is in normal course, that can be seen as the practice, what practice the company follows for providing that supply, that will decide its taxability. So we discussed about the taxation. So if these are the criteria, we need to check if we are having any services received from an employer to employee. Now we have also learned that as per GST, all the employer and employee are treated as related person. So like under income tax, we already know that when any transactions take place between an employer and employee, or any transactions take place between a related party, then such transactions has a special impact and they are calculated, the value of the consideration is calculated based on the valuation rule and not as per the common rule or the normal rule which says under GST that the consideration is what will be charged to GST. So that rule will not apply here. So now let's see what are the valuation rule for employer-employee transaction. So we'll see the valuation of employer-employee transaction. So how it will be valued? The first, there are the fixed principle given under GST rule that are more similar to the taxation rule that will apply to this, and as the case fall under section 15. Whenever any supply made by an employer to employee and it proves that it is a taxable supply to a related party, then you will first see whether what is the open market value of that supply. When I say open market value, what does it mean? Before we move ahead, now let's see. Open market value is the full value in money for supply of goods, that if the goods would have been sold to other person in open market, what money an employer would have charged for that services, or if any other person would have procured that service from an open market, what amount he would have paid, that will be the consideration for this transaction. Now let's see next, what will be the, if this rule doesn't apply, we will move next, and the next says value of supply of goods of similar kind. Value of supply of goods, or you can say it can be service also, of similar kind. So let's say if the goods or services which are given by an employer to employee are not traded openly in market and the market value cannot be ascertained, in that case is there any alternative to those services that are available in market, and if available, what value does it fetch when it is taken from the market or from the goods or services? That value will be taken as the transaction value. So the value, this rule says that supply of goods under similar circumstances in respect of characteristics of quality, quantity, function, component, material. So if everything remains same and you have an alternative, so what will be the transaction value in that case? Even if second rule does not fit to the case, then you have the cost plus basis. In this case, you have to find out how much cost an employer has incurred to give that supply to employee, and that will be 110% of the cost of production that has been incurred by an employer will be treated as the transaction value for this transaction, or for any supply of goods or services. If all three doesn't fit, then there is a residual method which should be in compliance with above principles, and reasonable means which is acceptable to the department will need to be applied for valuation of employer to employee services. So if we move ahead, then we can see that if any service is given by an employer to employee and it is value, if it is become taxable, value will be determined as per these rules. Now you must have heard that under GST rule, the new things that have come up apart from the related party is that if an employer gives any gift to his employee, then that will be taxable or will be chargeable to tax under GST. So how much the value and the valuation will be made as per market value like we discussed here, but up to what value it is exempt. So let's see that And if we discuss it, so the basic exemption, if an employer gives a gift to employee more than value of 50,000, then this entire gift amount will be liable to GST. So what impact will it have? Generally in India we have a Diwali gift, we have a New Year gift, or such other gift as may be. So whenever any employer gives any gift to employee, you need to check what value does it fetch as per valuation rule that we discussed just now for that supply. And if the value exceeds 50,000 for the year, means total gift given by employer to employee for the year if exceeds 50,000, then it will be chargeable to GST. So how you have to interpret? If the value of the total gift as per valuation rule is 49,900, it will be not liable to tax. 49,999 not taxable. Up to 50,000 not taxable. And if it exceeds 50,100 rupees, this entire 50,100 rupees will be liable to tax under GST rule, and employer will have to charge GST on that supply and will have to pay it to the government. It doesn't matter whether there is any consideration involved from employee for that gift or not. Yes or no, it doesn't matter, even if it is given for free, since it's a gift. Likewise, if it is a value for which employer is already collecting some money, those cases we will discuss in our next transactions. Like we have seen, apart from this gift, there are various other services which are given by employer, like medical, like you can say insurance, then you have a car rental, then you can say others like food services given by, then there are parking services given by employer to employee, and apart from that there are, you can say, mobile phone reimbursement, then relocation benefit. So in the next video we will discuss about what will be the GST implementation or GST implications on these transactions if given by employer to employee, whether GST will be charged on this transaction or not. If you liked our video, then please do like, press like button and subscribe for the future WhatsQ official videos. And in next we will discuss about these important types of perks or benefits given by employer to employee and their taxability under GST. Till then, goodbye. See you.